You do. You just have those.
To those of you on Facebook Live and YouTube, welcome to the Home Spiritual Center Sunday service for August 25th. Good thing I have a date on my sheet here. 25th, 2024.
You're retired too.
Yeah, I have been retired too long. We'll begin right away with our opening prayer so we get moving on today. God, into this sacred place we come as individuals, each with our own unique joys and burdens, but we also come as a family, bound by the love to be found here in the Home Spiritual Center. We pray for unity and fellowship as we gather for this church service. Let our love flow through and around us, binding us together in the spirit of togetherness and support. May our differences enrich our gathering, and may we find strength in our shared beliefs. Help us grow closer as a home center family, supporting one another on this journey of learning. May Spirit be our compass, leading us into the path of light. Let every note sung, every word spoken, every thought directed with love be a testament to our love and reverence. In God's love and light, amen. And now I welcome Reverend Madge to the podium.
Alrighty. Yeah, so my topic today is about the big picture of manifestation. So, I'm going to explore this topic of manifestation again. How often do we do that, right? I don't know about you, but I've become rather intrigued by the many, many ways of and principles of manifestation and how it's being taught, how many times, how many ways it's being taught. It's almost, at times it's almost eye rolling. It's like, oh my God, again, but we're not getting it. So that's the point. So we think we are, we want to be, but we're not there. So, but thank God there's yet another method that's being taught because we need to get it. We need to find that which works for us. So I sat back with this observation of how many ways it's being taught and asked the question, what is this really all about? And if Spirit has a plan, then why is there such an abundance of ways to obtain and gain abundance? And I'm hearing the language of manifestation and intention setting just about everywhere these days. It's in the workplace. We had that conversation about showing up in the workplace. I'm hearing people that I don't expect to use that kind of languaging using that language. There's thousands of podcasts, TikToks, books, workshops, even preachers are using the language with and high profile people. It's like it's so abundant and so prevalent. And they're using the language of abundance and talking about creating your reality and how we all can do that. And it's so abundant. The language is abundant. Yeah, but it's more than a fad. It almost seems like a fad, but it's not a fad. It's more than a fad. It's a guide that's guiding us to a way of being, to a way of life. But then the question for me that I ask is why? Why are we being guided to that? Why is it so prevalent right now? And the answer I got was because it's really, really important. So then the next question is, why is it important? What is it that makes it so important? And so as I journeyed through my question and then the images that came as part of my answers, I saw that there is a method being taught for everybody. There are so many methods because there are so many mindsets. There are so many people with different ways of thinking. And there's different types of personalities. And some method will align with a personality and another method won't. So, and there's every way of thinking and every experience in life. So there's a method and a way for everybody. There's no excuse for not engaging in it. Well, that doesn't work for me. Well, this worked, that kind of thing. We lose our excuses because it's that important. And one method, it doesn't resonate with somebody, if it doesn't match their languaging, doesn't match their mindset, then there will be something else that will come along that will. So keep trying. So we don't have any excuse that's big enough for not learning some method of being able to manifest and create the reality we want, because it's important. We're going to explore that importance. However, with all of that abundant information, most of us, including me, has not mastered it. I can talk about it, but I haven't mastered it yet. I don't have $1 million to my name sitting in the bank. And I'm not sure that any one of us here do. And if you do, congratulations. Grateful. But most of us haven't. But we're working on it, right? We're all working towards that kind of abundance and many other kinds of abundances. And I'm looking forward to having that problem. Don't they say, oh, if you win the lottery, it ruins your life. It's like, I'd love to try out that problem. Yeah. I'll try it on for size. Let's see how that works. Well, the other day I heard a testimony from someone and their method of manifestation that worked for them. They have abundant money now, and it worked for them was to write down their affirmation. It was a short sentence, 3 times a day, and they did it for a certain number of times, 3 times a day, and it worked. And I thought to myself, well, that's doable. I can give that a try. Who can't do that simple exercise? Well, typical, classic to humankind, human thinking, ways of life. I tried it out, and I tried it out because we know the energy goes where our focus and our attention goes. Where we look is, and they know that through quantum physics, the molecules will materialize where we're paying attention, and then it creates a particle. It goes back to a wave when we're not paying attention. So that's a basic principle. So this way of writing something down so many times a day and really putting your attention on it sound really easy. So I did it earnestly for a few days, and then pretty soon it was like, well, I did it in the mornings when I remembered, and then I congratulated myself for remembering in the morning, because I didn't remember throughout the day. I got busy and forgot. And then pretty soon there was a morning where I decided to get coffee first. And then as I'm making coffee, I look out the window and I look at my garden. I got all excited about the abundant vegetables that are out there. So I go out there. I never did do it. Pretty soon my daughter's up and the dogs are all out, and I completely lost track of my writing down my affirmations. And then pretty soon, the next week, my mother needed some more intensive caregiving, so I brought her over to my house. Of course, I didn't do it all that week. I was focused on other things. I'd prioritized that instead. Can you relate? You relate to all of that? Pretty soon I'm not doing it at all. But it was a good idea, and I did it in earnest for about 3 mornings. Or 3 days, and then a few more mornings, and then pretty soon it evaporated. So with all my excuses, I still know that it's really important. And my exploration of this topic has recommitted me to some sort of a practice. If it's not that, then what is it? What other practice might it be? And I hope that it will inspire you as well to pick up some sort of a practice, whatever it is that resonates with you and works for you. It's imperative as co-creators that we get good at creating the world we want to live in. And sometimes it seems shallow to focus on money, creating that financial flow in our life, or it might seem shallow to focus on getting a new car or something fancy in our life that is a material object. But it's really not. It's not shallow. Because as you're doing that thing, acquiring that thing, you're developing a skill. And that skill is a very valuable skill. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. The flow starts to happen. Your mindset, you've created the neural nets in your brain to just naturally, hey, I need this. And so you start working on that, and you put your focus on it, and it happens. And what we work on in our manifestations isn't as important as doing and developing the skill. So the what isn't as important as the how. And as we get good at creating our world of abundance and ease and grace, it will be a natural process that becomes just a part of how we live. It'll be just, we won't know ourselves separate from it. It won't be something we do, it's just something we are. And it becomes a part of our beingness. And it becomes no longer a miracle. It just is. At first, the first few times, it's a miracle. Whoa, I did this and this happened. Oh my God, it was like a miracle happened. But as it happens all the time, and it's how we are, it's how we live, it's no longer a miracle. It's just us. That's to me a real measure of success. And when we're successful at it, we're making ourselves less stressed. There's a lot of benefits. Our health improves, blood pressure goes down, our family is benefited by it. It increases their state of gratitude, or at least it should increase their state of gratitude. We have more to share with places like Home Center. We have more availability for being of service to others. And the list goes on and on of the benefits of what we can experience. But there's more to it than that, than just benefiting ourselves personally. It isn't selfish just to work on these skills for ourselves, but like I said, it's developing a skill that we can then use in the bigger picture of life, in the big picture of our society, in the big picture of our world. And we all want peace and abundance for ourselves and in our world. We want the killings to stop. We want the wars to stop. We want health care for everybody. We want everyone to have shelter. We want our elders to be secure in their sunset years, that they'll have good care. We want to have full tummies for everybody and clean water for everybody. Those are the things we want for everyone. We want harmony. We want to live in harmony with our beloved Mother Earth. Those are all desires that I think I can assume that we all collectively desire. So when we look outside of ourselves, we see the world out there, and it's so easy to feel helpless. Well, what can I do about that? I can't do about that. I can't do anything about it. We listen to the news and we get a sense of despair. But we can empower ourselves through our personal lives as we improve and master the skill for our personal lives, and it becomes such a natural way of being. Then we can turn our focus onto our society, onto our community, and onto the world, and do the same thing, because now we have the skill to do it. And then we can start affecting the collective consciousness. We can start affecting the collective world. And if enough of us do it, we will be unstoppable. There's nothing that could stop it. We would have this tipping point of this mindset that can't be stopped. And it doesn't take that many people, as they have learned through studies of manifestation in the collective. They did that study. I think it was Lynn McTaggart that did that study at a conference in Washington, D.C. They focused their meditation, their attention on peace, and there was no crime for 24 hours. That was just one group of people in a conference room that affected the whole city. So the tipping point isn't that big. It doesn't have to be everybody, but there is a collective power that can happen if we do this all together. So I have an interesting story about creating your own reality, and this is such a mystery to me. It's such a mysterious event in a way, but I heard it firsthand, so I'm pretty confident in its details. So after I had TMJ surgery, reconstruction, I went to physical therapy, and the physical therapist, he had a mother that lived in Florida. Well, during this time, there was that Class 5 hurricane that was coming across Florida, Hurricane Michael, I believe it was, created so much devastation. Well, at the time, my daughter was also living in Alabama. She was living in eastern Alabama, and we had a former home center member that was living on western Florida. So I was really paying attention to this hurricane that was coming across. I tracked it for both parties of interest to me. And well, I was at the physical therapist's office while the hurricane was coming across Florida and coming up the western side of Florida. And that was where his mother lived, come to find out. And he says, well, I just got off the phone with my mother, and she doesn't see anything of a hurricane. She has sunshine. She's out in her yard enjoying the flowers and blue sky. I said, well, where does she live? And he told me, and it's like, she's in the middle of a hurricane. I don't get it. I said, is she of sound mind? And he said, yeah, absolutely. It's like, wait a minute, how can that be? If this hurricane's coming up the coast, she's right in it. Yet she's experiencing blue sky and no wind, and she's out in her yard enjoying the sunshine and the flowers. It's like she is in an alternate reality. She has to be. How can that be possible? It's not physically possible in this dimension. Huh? Well, I asked that question too about the eye of the hurricane, and when I looked on the map, she would have still experienced the wind and the devastation on the front side, and then you have that period of time of being in the eye. Well, she never had even that. She hardly knew there was a hurricane going on at all, and it's like that's not possible. Even if she was in a valley and in a protected area, you would still know that there's a hurricane. You would have gray skies if nothing else and high winds. She never did. She never did. She just had this little alternate experience of sunshine and no wind. And I thought, man, how is that possible? And so, anyway, I never forgot it. It always stuck with me as a marker of could it be that right in the midst of chaos, that you can experience an alternate reality. And these people are they're very devoutly religious, and they're not metaphysical in the ways that we think of metaphysics. And so it wasn't like they were sitting, in meditation, concentrating on a different reality. She was just living the joy of her life through her relationship with Source, and whatever that is. So I have to take that experience. I heard it from him. He just got off the phone with her and gave me all the details. So I heard it firsthand. And so I have to take that and really, really take that in as a possibility of what's possible. It happened to one person that I heard about, but uh, what if? What if any of us could create that bubble of reality in the midst of chaos? The abundance of the universe and of grace of the universe is available to everyone. No one owns universal love. And universal love is beyond all beliefs and all systems of beliefs. It's beyond all doubts and fears. It's beyond all trials and tribulations that we might have. And it's beyond all politics and political parties. They don't own it either. Nobody does. So we can all collectively rise above the rhetoric and use this skill of manifestation, use this skill of co-creating our reality. And we can master it we're learning it, and we need to continue to learn it, and we need to master this skill to create our small world, the small world of how we want to live, the small world of how we want to bring things into our reality, and then turn our focus to the bigger world, to our community, to our state, to our country, to the world, and create that tipping point that's unstoppable. The number of people, as we know it takes, is very few, so we can always keep that in mind when you're feeling helpless and you're looking out into the landscape of what the news has to tell us, and think, no, there's enough of us that are working together. We don't get the highlights of the news, but we know it's happening. We have to have faith that it's happening. There's a collective of people that are just like us that are working on manifesting their reality for the purpose of manifesting the bigger reality. I think that's why it's so prevalent and so abundant, because we need that tipping point. Remember the Berlin Wall, how it came down? That wasn't by a political party that decided to take it down. It was the collective consciousness. It didn't fit into the collective consciousness anymore, so it had to go away. It just happened out of nowhere that the wall came down. The people gathered and took it down, and it was unstoppable. They couldn't stop the process of taking that wall down because it didn't fit into the consciousness anymore. The people that were affected by it rose above it vibrationally, and they made a different choice. That wall didn't fit into their paradigm anymore of their collective consciousness. So it came down in an unstoppable way. It wasn't other powers, it wasn't a political authority that decided, oh, I think we should take it down. The people did it, common people. And that's the power of the collective mind. Each one of us is contributing to the collective mind. We have the power to create a peaceful world. We have the power to stop wars. We have the power to stop greed. Not by going to war or by hoarding. That's not going to stop it. We have to take the other direction in our consciousness. But we're going to do it. We can stop it and change it by holding the higher frequency of universal love and peace together, all on the same page, all in the same vibrational frequency. And if that elder lady in Florida could create a bubble of blue skies and sunshine amid a hurricane, Category 5 hurricane, we can do this collectively together. We would be an unstoppable force of God's grace. So with that, we're going to do a little meditation. This is a Jack Kornfield meditation on gratitude. So let yourself sit quietly and at ease, and allow your body to be relaxed and open. Allow your breath to be neutral and your heart to be easy. And begin the practice of gratitude by feeling how year after year you have cared for your own life. Let yourself begin to acknowledge all that has supported you in this care. And say to yourself, as I say these words in first person, that this is our message to ourself. With gratitude, I remember the people, animals, plants, insects, creatures of the sky and sea, air and water, fire and earth, all those joyful exertions blesses my life every day. With gratitude, I remember the care and labor of 1,000 generations of elders and ancestors who came before me. I offer my gratitude for the safety and well-being I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the blessing of this earth I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the measure of health I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the family and friends I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the community I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the teachings and lessons I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the life I have been given. Just as we are grateful for our blessings, so we can be grateful for the blessings of others. Continue to breathe gently and bring to mind someone you care about. Someone that is easy to rejoice for. And picture them and feel the natural joy that you have for their well-being, for their happiness, and their success. With each breath, offer them your grateful, heartfelt wishes. And say in your mind and in your heart, may you be joyful. May your happiness increase. May you not be separated from your great happiness. May your good fortune and the causes for your joy and happiness increase. And sense the sympathetic joy and caring for each one of these phrases. And when you feel some degree of natural gratitude for the happiness for this loved one, extend this practice to another person that you care about. Now extend this same gratefulness maybe to someone that is difficult for you. Allowing your extended sympathetic joy go to all the beings everywhere, young and old, near and far. Let this be added to our collective mind and our collective heart. And I'm going to add to this to be sure and hold on to this and remember, make a bookmark in your emotional well-being for the feeling of gratitude, for gratefulness, and the many blessings that we have in our life today. And carry it with you throughout the week, allowing that to be the place that you go to in your experience of life. And just start bringing yourself back into the room, back into this time together, back into your body. So we'll do the offering for the home center. So get your gift ready for the home center. You put it between your hands. Thank you, Lynn. And we'll just give a blessing of abundance to this offering, knowing that we are already blessed and we are already abundant. And we continue to work on that abundance in the flow of the universe every day in our life. And it blesses the home centers that comes through, coming back to you and blessing you once again 100 times all of your wants, needs, and desires for your highest and your greatest good. Let it be so. All right, so the basket's going around. I'm going to invite Dick up to do his sharing and his closing blessing. Then I'll come back up and share the announcements.
Today's thought I pulled from Key to Yourself. Took a snippet out of chapter 25, if you want to look it up yourself. Goes right along with what we just discussed. If your thoughts and desires are not clearly defined, if you are drifting along without decisions or purpose, you are the helpless victim of chance. Set a goal, something that you think you can do with a little extra effort, and then just do it. You'll have set vibrations in motion to get that thing done. If you lose focus and your goal fails, then you've thrown a monkey wrench into your machinery. Hence, focus equals success, no focus equals monkey wrench. Our closing prayer. We started our service this morning with love, and we are closing it in love. Thank you all for your attendance, making this day a success. May the things we have learned today stir our hearts, and may we put those things into action. May the love we've experienced impact our lives, our families, our friends, and the rest of the world around us positively. In love and light, amen. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, that ends the Sunday service at the Home Spiritual Center. We're out.